Timberborn Update 5 is bringing some major changes and some major challenges. In this video I will share with you tips and strategies on how to survive these challenges playing as Iron Teeth faction. Let's get going. This is the map we're gonna play. This was the standard map, the plains map in the update 4 and probably earlier. If we follow the water, you will see it starts exactly like the standard map, the plains map, and it goes all the way down through our village and then in a big lake and then out. But it has been slightly changed. As you can see, we have some bad water. If we follow the bad water, we have one bad water source block on one end and one tiny river on the other end. The two bad waters we have, they are not an issue at all, but this one, the bad water, the regular water source blocks that will transform to bad water during the bad tide are a big problem. And as you can see, they flow through our city and then out. If you have seen the last video, you will know that these two bad water source blocks will not affect our village whatsoever, but we gotta be careful with this one. So let's start off. So what do we have here? Well, we have some farms, some logs, some berries, and then we have some industrial area on the other side. Now, some of you suggested in the last video that you could probably build a dam early on, so when the bad water comes, you just pull it up and the water, or the bad water, just goes in different directions. Promise me one thing, don't destroy the blockage here and then build up a floodgates here like this. That's simply because the bad water will show up here, fill this part up, and then it's time for the next level, and then it goes up here all the way around and everywhere. So that will destroy your village within minutes, if that. So what we will do instead is actually using the other mechanics in the game in the update 5 to survive. But this time we gotta be even more careful, because if we look at the irrigation barrier that we have for the Iron Teeth faction, they will not only block the bad water, they will also block the regular water. Let me show you how they work. So now we have irrigation barrier on this side, and as you can see, this was just finished and all the land here is still green. Now if we continue, it's all dried up, so no water liquid whatsoever passes the irrigation barrier, and this is a unique challenge for the Iron Teeth faction. So what we gotta do is create our own irrigation system, and we'll do that by exploding a 3x3 area. So for example, right down here should be pretty good, like that. And then we go into the water. Let's get fluid dump around, and very soon we'll have beavers coming in with water. Look at them, and they fill it up. And I got one more great tip in the comments from in the last video. What we can also do is use platforms. So let's cover this up. Well, honestly, if we had the fluid dump on any other side, we could cover 2 of the rows, and then we could use that to build something else. Or let's do that instead. Or now it's fixed. And as you can see, now only 3 out of the 9 blocks is actually being used, and we can use these other 6 for something else. Now I put it in a place that's a bit far away. As you can see, some of the berries are not irrigated, but that's okay. And as you can see, you have a lot more land on the other side to build stuff. So that was the first challenge. As you see, I have built an irrigation barrier all the way around on one side, and then I also, just for the show here, built around my forest farm. And because of that, I had to build some fluid dumps and a lake in the middle of the city, just so my forest and my berries up here could get some water. I would recommend having irrigation barrier everywhere where you have berries, where you have some farms or forest, and that way you are protected during the worst seasons ever. Here is what it looks like when bad tide season comes. It's all red, it's all really bad, well, except where we placed our irrigation barriers. You see how all these berries look fresh and good to eat? At the same time, these berries are almost dead, so they are uneatable. Logs here are all good, all growing as usual, can be cut down, they will grow, you can cut them down again without an issue. Oh, well, would you look at that? Our beavers are swimming in the bad water, and this is really bad. In few days, some of them will get really sick and not be able to work. So how do we fix that? Is there a cure? Yeah, there is. So what you need to do is get some bad water pumps and pump out bad water. So bad water pumps are a new buildings which you have down here next to the regular water pump. So bad water pump it pumps out bad water, and bad water is being sent to the centrifuge, and then centrifuge takes 4 bad water plus some logs to create 1 extract. Now, there is a whole bunch of things you can do with extract, but to cure your beavers, you will also need to create decontamination pod, which you will find in the well-being section. So right here, it needs some power, and that's all. So here you can see how often it's used, how much extract it has, and as you see, the 10 extract will last for 100 hours. I honestly don't know what that means, but that should be good to cure a few beavers. And now, up here you can see we have 3 contaminated adults. Let's go find them. And here is one. So this beaver spent too much time in contaminated water. It's fine for now, but will get sick in few days. Here is one sick iron-teeth beaver. As you see, here's another one. They don't look good. If you press on one of them, you will see they got bad sleep, but also contamination is -10. So they refuse to work and they move really slow. So let's see here. Look at them in jacuzzi, just relaxing. They will need to visit the decontamination pod several times. It will not end straight away. And you see here how much it's being used, how much power it needs, and hours go down. The bad water is now gone, but as you can see, all the contaminated beavers had -10, and the red was all the way to the right side. Now it's slowly going to the right, and that means, or to the left, and that means they are getting better and better for each visit they have to the combination pod. Now, I just smoothly went through the irrigation or the small lakes we have to build in update 5, but what does that actually mean? For in update 5, you will not be able to use only one water source block to create a huge lake. And as you can see, if you only have one block of water, it will not create any farmland whatsoever. 2x2 is slightly better, but still far from what we need. And here, as you can see, 3x3 is actually a huge area. So this is what I would recommend. And you don't need to have 3 fluid dumps. Down here, I only have 1, and it's working really well. And as I mentioned earlier, you can cover most or almost all water with platforms, and you can use that area for other buildings. Maybe you want a farm area, you can put a warehouse or just a farmhouse on it without an issue. Oh, and by the way, they removed the irrigation tower, so now this is the only solution we have. And I can mention one more important building here, the bad water discharge. So it seals bad water source and can be open whenever you want. And as you can see, it does cost a lot of gears, metal blocks and dynamite. But what you can do is actually close it off like this, and it's now closed. Whenever you want, whenever you need, you can open it up, and there we go. Close again. And those were my tips on how to survive the new challenges in Timberborn Update 5, playing as Iron-Teeth. If you haven't seen the Folktale Survival Guide, there will be a link up here. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.